Why on earth would you spend $130 on a small portable speaker? Because it's awesome. This is the Bose Soundlink Color Bluetooth speaker. In this video, I'll walk you through its main features, the one or two things I'd like to change, and why I think it's worth its big price tag. What it's good for. Rich, loud sound for your computer, mobile phone, tablet, or whatever else you can connect via Bluetooth or plug into the standard 3.5mm input. It's got hours of battery life. It weighs less than 2 cans of soda and is about the same size. It's built for carrying around and can handle abuse. I bought this in May last year, so I've had it for 8 months and I've used it pretty much every day since then. My brother bought one and loves it just as much as I do. The charging port and cable could be better, but that's pretty much my only complaint. Why I like it. The sound. Unless you're listening to this on a Bose Color, I can't really show you what it sounds like, but let's compare it to an iPhone. This thing never distorts and it's always loud enough. Quiet video is one of my biggest frustrations, especially when watching YouTube content that doesn't always have the best audio production. The worst part of trying to watch something with more than 1 or 2 people isn't the tiny screen, it's not being able to hear anything. That is not a problem with this speaker, ever. If it can be heard at all, it will be loud enough with the Bose Color. If not, turn on the subtitles because you're dealing with a lost cause. Design. It's sturdy. This thing is built like a brick. It survived a couple of drops from a bedside table with no signs of damage. That was on tile from a height of about 3 feet. It was dark and I was half asleep if you're curious about my clumsiness. Compact design. It's roughly 5.5 inches high and 5 inches wide. It weighs 534 grams. That's less than 2 cans of Coke. It's got non-slip pads on the sides and bottom. They work well and there are no signs of peeling after 8 months of daily use. The weight is pretty evenly distributed with a little more heft at the bottom. It's easy to pack and carry around and it's stable on pretty much any surface. Battery life. Most days I use this thing from the moment I wake up in the morning until I go to sleep, usually about 16 hours. It plays while I'm in the shower, cooking, all the time. If I'm home, it's on. It's a rare day that I have to plug it in. You definitely get the 8 hours they promised. Overall, battery life is one of my favorite things about this speaker. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is one of the main selling points of this speaker. The manual says it's got a range of about 33 feet and I've found that to be true. It connects to every device I've tried with no fuss. It can connect to 2 devices at the same time and switching between them is just a matter of pushing the Bluetooth button. It stores up to 8 devices in memory. When you turn it on, it will connect to the last 2 things it was connected to if they are within range. If you add a 9th device, it will delete the least recently used device. Also, wow, you have a lot of Bluetooth devices, or friends, or both, hopefully both. It's got straightforward controls with minimal parts to break or wear down. There are 6 buttons and they're all clearly labeled. Play Pause works on iOS and YouTube. It probably works with lots of others too, but those are the ones I've used. For music, the Play Pause button will also go to the next song if you press it twice, go to the previous song if you press it 3 times, and awesomely, those also work on YouTube. The Play Pause button is also used to turn mute on and off in auxiliary mode. Speaking of auxiliary mode, let's talk about the auxiliary connection. If you don't have Bluetooth, you can connect through a standard 3.5mm input at the back. That's the size of a typical headphone jack. Voice feedback. The voice is clear and easy to understand. You'll get voice feedback when you connect it to a new device or switch between devices. If you hit the Bluetooth button, it will tell you what device it's connected to. If you haven't connected it to anything, you'll hear a "ready to pair" message when you turn it on.
Ready to pair.
Like that. Apart from the voice, you'll also hear a sound when you turn it on and turn it off. It's easy to turn off the voice prompts if you'd like by pushing the plus and minus buttons at the same time. It has a ton of languages, including Mandarin, Japanese, German, a bunch. What could be improved? The charging port. This is my only real gripe with the speaker. The charging cable looks nice and seems robust, but mine quit after a few months. The same thing happened to my brother's cable and it happened a lot faster. I'm not a big fan of micro USB in general because it has too many fiddly bits that can fail. In this case, it seems that the port stretches with repeated use. To fix this, I recommend getting a better charging cable like this one from Anker. It's a nice tight fit and works like a charm. I've put a link to it in the description. Bluetooth issues and multiple devices. I've never found connecting to multiple devices useful. The Bose handles it well with easy switching and reliable connections, but it leads to more problems than solutions. For example, the speaker connects to 2 devices by default, and you don't always realize it's connected to both. Most of the time, this ends up muting something without you knowing. I used to wonder why my phone hadn't been giving me notifications before I saw that it was connected to the speaker and muted as a result. Now if I use it with my phone, I make sure to delete it after I'm done to avoid confusion. I've had some trouble connecting to my Mac, but I think that's got more to do with the Mac's Bluetooth issues than any problems with the speaker. That said, deleting the speaker from the computer and then reconnecting it works every time. A few pointers. Order a better micro USB cable when you order the speaker to reduce wear and tear on the charging port and avoid being stuck with no way to charge it if the included cable dies. Turn up the speaker from your device first. The speaker's volume controls move in tiny increments. Once you've turned your device up to the max, then try the speaker if you need more volume. The one exception to this is with certain games that use the notification volume from your device rather than the main volume. For me, this only happens when I play Boom Beach, but it's a pain. Using the device controls has almost no effect, and then when you do change it on the speaker, it goes from whisper to wailing banshee in one click. Bottom line, if you notice the volume isn't changing much, try whichever volume control you haven't tried yet. Holding down the buttons will make continuous changes if you want. How it compares to other products on the market. While I've had a few cheap Bluetooth speakers, I haven't had any other speakers in this price range. I have listened to a few of its competitors, and I've never heard better sound from anything else. Worse, most of its competitors are bigger. Price. Since Bose has introduced a newer version of this speaker, this one is available for between $95 and $150, depending on what color you want. Personally, I'd go with the newer version for $130 because it's got some cool new features. It's water resistant, has a silicone exterior which should protect it from shortfalls, and a built-in mic for accessing digital assistants like Siri or Google Now. But back to the original Bose color, the one that I have. It's a great speaker to carry around, although it's done most of its work as a partner for my iPad mini at home. Using this speaker has meant I never have to worry about missing lines from my favorite shows or settling for tinny, crackly sound. If anything happened to it, I'd replace it as soon as possible. Like, I'd eat nothing but ramen noodles if I had to until it was on the way. What made me buy it? The first Bluetooth speaker I bought was the $30 Jam Classic. I watch a lot of things on my iPad, and I was tired of people not being able to hear videos I wanted to share. I loved the convenience of Bluetooth, and the speaker was small and portable. The sound and battery life weren't great, but for $30 it was fine. When it died unexpectedly, I decided I wanted to upgrade. I had looked at the Bose, but geez, $130? Then one day I was photographing a wedding at the beach, and the bride wanted a song played while she walked down the aisle. Someone had brought their portable speaker and had everything set up. It was actually the Bose Soundlink mini Bluetooth speaker for about $200. I was skeptical because the beach eats up a lot of sound and I'd seen a lot of speaker fails. And then I was blown away. It was too loud. Seriously. They had some live musicians as well. It was that kind of wedding. And the Bose drowned them out. You could barely hear the horn players over this thing. When I got home, I bit the bullet and got the smaller version. Even so, I did not expect the quality that comes out of the Bose color. It handles highs and lows with no problem and never crackles. So if you just want a cheap speaker, this is not for you. But if you're looking for a great speaker, one that you can use with your computer or carry around with you, the Bose color definitely gives you your money's worth. I hope that was helpful. If it was, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. There's a link to a written version of this video in the description. This is the first video from Dom's Useful Stuff, and we'd love to hear your feedback. Was this helpful? Was there something you didn't understand? Let us know.